Okay, today we are going to go over a fourth grade fraction problem. These are um, a problem just comparing fractions. And basically, what I've noticed is with these problems, it seems like um, basically they'll give you a story, but then ask uh, pretty much which one of these is the same, which of these are different, or like which is bigger, or which one is smaller than this fraction. So anyway, us just get going, and I'll kind of expand on that. Four friends each bought a large chocolate chip cookie from the cookie company. The table shows their uneaten cookie and a fraction that represents how much each person ate. Which two friends ate the same amount of their cookie? So really, it gives us a story about these cookies, and we see cookies, but all they're asking is out of all of these fractions, 4/5, 2/3, 6/8, and 8/10, uh, which of these two fractions are equivalent? Which of them are the same, right? So we can go through it, and I would say uh, the best thing you can do is you just start on a fraction. So I'm going to start right at the beginning, 4/5, and then go through and see if it's equivalent to any of the other fractions. Now, 4/5, can I change it into 2/3? Is there any way that I can change 4/5 into 2/3? No. Is there any way I can change 5 into 8? No. It doesn't multiply. 5, and then now we're looking at 8/10. Now, 5 times 2 equals 10. So if this is an equivalent fraction, or I'm sorry, I would multiply this by 2. And if this is an equivalent fraction, then I can multiply both top and bottom by 2, and it would give me this. So 4 times 2 equals 8. 5 times 2 equals 10. So actually, on our first try, we see that 4/5 and 8/10, so Calvin and Sally have the same amount of their cookie left. And technically, we could color in the amount of cookie and see that it's actually the same amount left. Okay, so Calvin and Sally. Now we could go through and see here. All right, 2/3. Is there any way I can get 2/3 to 6/8? No. 4/5? No. And 8/10. There's nothing I can multiply this by to get to 8/10. Now I do want to mention one thing, that something like 3/6 is equal to 1/2, right? And that's also equal to 4/8. And technically, I can't multiply 6/8 or 6 and 3/6 to get to 4/8. There's nothing I can multiply that by. So it might be a good idea just to reduce all of the fractions, right? Because if I reduce these fractions, I know that I can reduce it and then reduce this one, and see that once I reduce them, obviously they both equal 1/2, right? And I'm reducing them by dividing by the common factors. So that's another way to do it. You could look and then see, okay, 4/5 is already reduced. There's no common factors other than 1. 2/3 is already reduced. 6/8, since they're both, they are both even, I can divide by 2, and then it's 3/4. So I have 4/5, 2/3, 3/4, and then 8/10. When I reduce it, it becomes 4/5. So that's another way of looking at it, is just to reduce all the fractions. And once the fractions are fully reduced, you'll see which two fractions reduce to the same one, right? Because if two fractions are equivalent, then their reduced version will be the same. Another way to do this, I guess I'll just give you all sorts of ways, is by just finding a common denominator. Right? So you can just find a common denominator and then convert the fraction into common denominators and see if it's the same fraction. So, in this case, the common denominator would be 10. Multiply this by 2 over 2, and this is actually what it comes out to. So those are the different methods for seeing if a fraction is equal. I guess kind of just pick whichever one suits you best, but know that kind of seeing if a fraction can multiply to give you another one of the fractions is not always the best, because something like 3/6 and 4/8, although they're equal, you can't multiply 3/6 by anything to get 4/8. So hopefully that helped and didn't confuse you.